What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Welcome back on finally a game match day Saturday. Well, not match day, but match day is tomorrow. But we're hyped where you get to talk about the preview stuff as well as some other little bit of news that we have for Juventus. First off, we're going to talk about what Allegri has to say, but then we'll dive into those Mercado rumors we know you care about. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's April 2nd, 2022. It's a Saturday, and of course, we have your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news that you care about. Before we do that, though, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Now, let's just dive into it, and first, we're going to start off with, of course, Max Allegri's match preview of the things that he had to say going into a monumental showdown with Inter that we have tomorrow. So the very first comments that he had today, speaking with Juventus TV, he said, "We are in line on everything with the club. We always manage to find unity of purpose and planning. The choices are all made together. When there are matches like the Derby d'Italia, it is difficult to say who's the favorite. Inter is certainly one of the candidates for the Scudetto. Tomorrow must be a great evening of football. We need a good performance against the Italian champions." Not a lot for me to break down there. A lot of coach speak. I say this a lot. It's coach speak, saying that the things are coming together. At least it's a positive way of saying that things are coming together, not coach speak saying that things are a mess and they still need to work on some things before going into the match. You at least like to see him say that, especially at this point in the season. If things aren't syncing and working together, I don't know what to tell you by the time you get to April. Next comment up, he says that the subs are important. Now more than ever, we need fresh energy, physical, and mentality. We need fresh energy, you need to be physical, and you need to be mental for the final rush. Tomorrow, Juve must consolidate fourth place. We must be concentrated. Then we'll see how we are in the standings. Juve and Inter was the first game behind closed doors, and it's the first to be played again with 100% capacity. These are the ingredients for it to be a great night. And that's a very good point. First off, the first half of that, what he really had to say about consolidating fourth place, I understand the mindset, and I get it. Obviously, Alejandro, people like that on our channel have been kind of in the similar mindset of just getting fourth place. There's nothing else that you're going to win, right? I tend to shy a little bit away from that and want to push forward for something more, dare to dream for more for Juventus at this point in the season. But as it stands, the most important aspect is, of course, consolidating fourth place and knowing you're going to be in the Champions League next year and getting that money. That's the most important aspect. The second part, though, when it's about Juve Inter, that's funny. It just clicked with me. It resonated a little bit just because I remember that match. Dybala had the goal. He may have two goals. I know he at least had one goal, and it was an impressive performance as Juve defeated Inter. I believe it was 2-0 at home in Allianz Stadium. Like I said, at home. It was the 2019-2020 season, and it's hard to believe that we've spanned multiple seasons since all the nonsense with, the situation has been going about. But yeah, it is nice because I remember where we were. It was before my child was even born, and now he's almost 2 years old. Just to put it in retrospect, just to think about how much time has really passed since then. So it'll be awesome. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun to see Juventus go in there full capacity, 100%. Hopefully the fans will show up to fill that full capacity and really make it a difficult environment for Inter to play in. I'll be excited to watch that. He goes on to say, though, that basically making Inter lose the Scudetto is not an incentive for us. We have our own goals and our own path to take. I'm going to say right now, and I'm going to call BS on that. I don't believe that for 1 second that you're going to tell me at Juventus that the Juventus brand, the Juventus players, that Max Allegri himself, especially having Maratta over there and all this going along, the rumblings, all the things that are going on there, that they are not at least a little bit interested in trying to play spoiler for Inter season and trying to take them out of the Scudetto race if possible. I don't believe it for a second. I think Juve are trying to play spoiler. Say all the things that you want to say, Max Allegri. I'm not buying it. He goes on to say we have games in which we need to get points to guarantee ourselves Champions League football. Then we have the Coppa Italia. We have to stay focused on our objectives. True. I don't know what else you want from that. We have missed Chiesa so much because of his characteristics and qualities. We were waiting for him, but now we obviously have to think about the conclusion of the season. So yeah, definitely our boy needs to get healthy. I never usually like to use the term boy, so our man Chiesa needs to get healthy, and we'll see what he can do next season. But for now, all men that are here right now need to be doing their part. He goes on to say, John Elkann, he has never failed to be there. We know how important Juve is for the family. This year we started again to build a future at Juve. Together we've grown a lot, but not enough yet. And he says, I'm happy that Tevez will be there tomorrow. He was a fundamental champion for us and for football. Seeing him again makes me emotional, as it is often happens to me when I see the great champions I have coached. So just some nice little thoughts there. Nothing really groundbreaking or shattering from his comments, but it would be cool to have Tevez in the building for a big-time matchup for Juventus there. Hopefully he brings some good luck, some of that Tevez energy. All right, let's continue on, though. Now we actually have some of the news that we need to talk about. And the very first one up is this one, and it's talking about the midfield situation. Gazzetta dello Sport's reporting saying that for the midfield, Juventus are looking at Renato Sanchez, with Paredes being the alternative. So kind of not really a new name. Maybe Paredes is a little bit more new, being referenced with Juventus. We've talked about both players in the past. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. Mainly because the topic of the idea that Juventus are looking at Renato Sanchez like first. If that's what they're really rumored out, that's what Juventus are looking at. And I guess when they say this, it's probably more in that secondary realm, right? I guess when I say that is it's not going to be, that would not be a big splash for Juventus. Let's not kid ourselves. Renato Sanchez would not do it. It doesn't turn me on. I doubt it'll turn you on. Yeah, I said that. But anyway, overall though, I think the addition of Renato Sanchez, it worries me a little bit. He seems to be a good player when he's healthy, but he has so many injury issues. Do we need to bring in him? I worry more about him. Or not injury issues. Recent injury issues. He's been knocked up quite a bit. Maybe not long term, but definitely recently he's been injured, and I just don't know if I really want to take that gamble to see if he'll fully recover or if it's a Dybala situation and they are stuck with another player like that. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, let's continue on with the final bit of news for the day. I know it's a little bit of a shorter news day, but it is what it is, and that is, of course, talking about, you know it, everybody who's gonna come at me. You're gonna hear the name Zaniolo. Gazzetta dello Sport are saying that Zaniolo remains the number one target to replace Dybala. However, there are three major doubts that could convince the club to turn to Raspadori. The first is the cost of the 50 million euros, then the physical condition and his compatibility with Vlahovic and Chiesa. Obviously, both of those options I think would be good options. I almost kind of wondered if they could go for both, but if it seems either or, Raspadori is not a bad option. I know a lot of people probably, fans at this point, when you're giving the conversation of the injuries and all that go along with that, you may be more inclined to lean toward Raspadori, but I still don't believe that the 50 million euros is a legit number that Roma even consider that they're going to get. I know we was as high as 70, and yesterday it started to see 50. I think you're seeing this price decrease. But also, most importantly, Zaniolo, unless they come up to an agreement and he ends up renewing, he only has a year left on his contract. So if he really wants to go to Juventus, and this is one of those deals like Locatelli or something like that, I'm not saying it is, but if it's a deal where he decides, I want to go to Juve, I'm going to go to Juve, no matter what. Kind of like Vlahovic. Remember, he was going to go. He had another year on his contract. What did they do? They were able to get it figured out with the amount of money. I think he could probably do that, and I think Juve could definitely get him for cheaper. Obviously, there are talks about bringing in another player, with a sacrifice to Rovella, even a McKinney, to try to bring in Zaniolo, even though we know that the club has been, flirting with Zaniolo, the idea they've been in love with the kid for a while. Is it a serious option there? Would you even give out a bigger piece that I believe Weston McKennie is? It's funny how we changed the way we talk about him in recent months. We'll see. But as it stands right now, I don't for a second believe that they're going to get 15 million euros, even equivalent, even however much you want to say McKennie's worth, plus the rest to equal 50 million. I'd bring it down to even like 40, 35, something like that. I think would be more reasonable, and I think is probably the more likely scenario. I could be wrong. Well, that's just my personal opinion. Don't take my word for it. It's just the way I feel. Anyway, guys, that's the news that we have for you today. Really kind of a shorter news video, just talking about what Allegri had to say. And then the couple of rumors out there about the Mercado moves, thanks to Gazzetta dello Sport and likes like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree with the things Allegri said? Do you think about these Mercado moves? What do you think about Renato Sanchez? Does that do anything for you? Again, it personally does not for me. Let me know if you end up liking that name, even if he is like a secondary option there in the midfield. And then, of course, Zaniolo. Y'all go at it. Do whatever you want to do. I guess maybe if you want to compare which one you'd pick, Zaniolo or Raspadori, in the comment section down below. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. As always, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. If you haven't already, make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And of course, follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.